On March 22nd, in a game with the Mavericks hosting the Warriors, a weird situation propped up. After an out-of-bounds stoppage, a timeout was called. The ball was out on Dallas, and referee Andy Nagy called Warriors possession before signaling towards the Mavericks in what looked to be a changed decision before subtly reverting back to Warriors possession. But this could have also been him signaling their timeout. After the timeout, the Mavs were on the court, but on the wrong side, giving the Warriors a completely clear inbound for the easiest 2 points in NBA history. The game ended up being decided by those very same 2 points after Reggie Bullock drained a three to end the game. The resulting 2-point loss didn't sit well with Dallas owner Mark Cuban, since the Warriors were gift-wrapped those 2 points following a very confusing sequence. Cuban went to Twitter to explain why this is a travesty, stating on it, "For those wondering about the play with a minute 54 to go in the third, let me explain what happened. The ref called Mavs ball. The announcer announced it. Then there was a timeout. During the timeout, the official changed the call and never told us. Then when they saw us line up as if it were our ball, he just gave the ball to the Warriors and never said a word to us. They got an easy basket. Crazy it would matter in a 2-point game. Worst officiating non-call mistake possibly in the history of the NBA. All they had to do was tell us, and they didn't. Worst call ever? I don't know about that. But I would argue that part of a referee's job is to minimize confusion, especially after a dead ball situation. Maybe even the refs were a bit confused themselves, since the action was to start under the Mavs basket, but only 2 refs were stationed there, while one was all the way back with the Mavs under the Warriors hoop. We've seen referees be extra when it comes to minimizing confusion before getting teams situated. Remember when that referee Courtney Kirkland tried to block Chris Humphrey's free throw to allow a Toronto substitution? Not only was it hilarious, but it was to allow the opposing team to get situated during a dead ball set before play resumed. Following the situation, Mark Cuban went on to file a protest against the result of the game. Now, what is a protest in these terms? Is he going to be outside of the NBA head office with a picket sign and a bunch of people screaming? No. It's basically a grievance to get the chance to replay the situation. You give a check of $10,000 to file along with evidence of the wrongdoings for the league to review. If your claim is substantiated and passed, you get back your $10,000 along with a chance to replay a portion of the game. This has only been done 44 times in league history, and just 6 have been successful. There have been more players with 50, 40, 90 seasons than successful protests, and there's only been one that passed in the last 40 years. There have been more quadruple doubles than that. The last time this happened was in January of 2008, where the Miami Heat played the Atlanta Hawks. A Udonis Haslem foul was wrongly assessed to Shaq, and then Shaq picked up his 6th foul, which put him out of the game in the waning seconds of an overtime 3-point loss to the Hawks. The league let the final 52 seconds get played with Shaq present. Neither team scored, and it led to a loss anyway. Protested results are a rarity in the NBA, but with the Western Conference race being so tight, this game could be the difference between being one of the 5 and 6 seeds and out of the play-in, being in the play-in, or out of the playoffs entirely. Still, this bizarre situation opened up one of the rarest things the NBA has ever seen. If the league does grant the replay, where would it start? Would it be the final possession, that 1.7 seconds before Bullock drained a 3? But this time, instead of it being a 5-point game, it's a 3-point game? Does it go to overtime since the game technically would have been tied? But the Warriors would have D'd up differently on that shot if it was done in a 3-point game and not a 5-point one. It's still pretty interesting to see this prop up. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Does the league grant the request? Is it meritless? Should the refs have let the Mavs get into position before giving the ball out? There are so many questions, but anyway, thank you for watching, like and subscribe, yada yada, and I'll catch you next time.